to me is honestly, this is basically trash. Okay. Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. Today I want to smile and be like, how you doing and all that jazz, but today is not that day. Today is not that day. I have been in Shanghai and I came back from Canada this morning, but I'm sitting here doing this video because it's like, you know what? It's got to be done. I got to say my own part on this, you know, little situation. And by the way, thank you guys so much for 2 million followers. Can you believe it? How we do it? How did we do it? Can you imagine that we've done it? We've got to 2 million followers here. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yes, I look crazed because I do feel slightly crazed. But I appreciate all your support and I love you guys. I'm going to do so much stuff and I can't wait to do more. But today we're about to have a little bit of a moan. We're going to have a little bit of a moan because, you know, Tarte Shape Tape foundation, you really did that in 2018. You really did it. So I'm going to give you guys my full first impressions of I'm going to call this the crumbs from the table. That is what I received. I feel like, you know, and I can't even look at you guys because I'm just like what the hell? What has happened is that Tarte have released 50 shades of beige, like, you know, 50 shades of actual beige. And actually it's not 50 shades, it's 15 shades. And there are 3 shades for the darker skinned women. I don't know what my Indian friends or Sri Lankan friends are gonna do because I don't know where you sit on the scale. You can just wear hopefully several of the shades mixed together. I don't really know what they were thinking. You know, outrageous is important because it brings change. But I just think to myself, it's really 2018 and you did this. You really did this and you know that, you know it's a big issue. I personally think it was really strategic. I think it was done on purpose. I think you are trying to play games, you know. How do you have 20 concealers that are the #1 selling concealer in the US and you came out with grey and orange 15 foundations? I just feel like you're come on, wow, it's a wow. It's a lie and it's a wow. I'm bored and I'm unimpressed. And my mum says this thing, like, she always says, she's like, see your mitts. And she gives me that face, you know, it's that this look of disgust and then her hand moves, see your mitts. Your mitts, they're doing well, you're doing nothing. And I feel like just doing that to Tarte, I'm unimpressed. I'm not even bothered, I'm just like, see your mitts. You people, they're launching, they're doing foundations of all colors, of all shades, and you had the audacity to come out with 15 shades and then backtrack and discuss that you're coming up with 10 more later. We heard. I'm for those that are for me. So if you're not, you know, I'm not waiting for you at the door. You can go over there. I'm gonna complain, but there's so many people out there doing greatness that, you know, we're not actually that bothered. You know, Fenty foundation, hello, there's 40 shades. The #1 selling foundation in the UK is the Estee Lauder Double Wear, 50 shades. And they're good. Lancome 10 Idol, 40 shades, if not 44 shades. Bobbi Brown, love Bobbi Brown, just worked with them, 30 shades. NARS, 33 shades. Loreal Paris, 33 shades. Even Huda Beauty, as problematic as that foundation is and made me break out, 30 shades. So your mates, look at them. Huda Beauty is a new brand, Fenty is a new brand, and they came out with foundations that everybody could wear or almost wear, and you came out with 15 shades of ash and expected women to just put up with it. I just don't know. So yeah, that is just my thoughts on that. And I don't think, given the year that we're in, sis, like, it's 2018, you didn't think about this or you planned this. And I think that you're getting a lot of coverage and a lot of views and a lot of attention. And I feel like the release of the additional shades, I think it's actually more of a marketing strategy. But I will be trying them if I can get my hands on them, because I'm probably, maybe might be off the PR list. But, you know, I'm sorry. Secondly, I just felt like something went through my spirit. I had to say this. Like, I've seen certain people who have been problematic towards black women and they say it was in the past, but realistically a year and a half ago you were calling certain individuals certain names that I do not call women, using the C word on women, calling other women rats, attacking women, and you know, you've been off key, Jeffree Star, to women of color, and now you're here like, you know, defender. you know what, I don't really want your defense, to be honest. Just that's just something that irks me, and then to use it, you know, it's just I see that it's a great PR strategy for a lot of people, but the reality is that this issue, diversity, is not just a PR strategy. It's some people's everyday lives in the makeup industry, in the work environment, in medical treatment. So I know this might be a great way for you to grow your followers and be like, I care, but actually, you know, this is some people's everyday lives. But we're gonna get into this review. I think I've said enough. Here we have the PR box that was sent over. And funnily enough, I haven't actually used the Tarte Shape Tape concealer. So funny enough, the concealer came in here, which I haven't tried. And then here are the shades that I received. Now, do you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Seeing this doesn't look that bad. You know, if I received from a brand almost quote unquote 6 foundation, I mean, this is looking like actual, you know, desert wastelands, so I'm gonna look like a ghost with that on. But you know, foundations that kind of look from afar like they could work for me, it would look okay. But I think when you realize, and in comparison to every other shade that's out there, it's basically the crumbs from the table. And I don't eat crumbs, darling. I eat gourmet. I eat gourmet, darling. There are 2 different foundations. One is more of a hydrating foundation, and one is more of a matte foundation. It's much more similar to the consistency of the Shape Tape concealer. So it comes with this brush, and funny enough, some of my favorite brushes are the Tarte brushes. They're actually quite good, and they always stay in my collection. They may be leaving my collection, you know, after you know, today, but you know, we'll see. Okay, this is very rich, and that is real red. Okay, wow. It's a wow, it's a wow. This is really a wow. There is really no gradient. They should have just left that at the door. They shouldn't have bothered. So yeah, this is the 3 darkest shades. They've sent this to everyone as, you know, y'all black people, you're gonna be one of these 3 shades. No, just no. Yeah. So I'm just trying to work out what my option is. Maybe this, you know, luminous red middle shade could be the one that works for me. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the rich sand, which, whew, it's orange. This is actually face paint. Why does it look so orange on me? My God. This looks like what foundation used to look like in 1999. You know when you have one of those aunties and her face looks red. Why does your face look red, auntie? Okay, let us just brush this in. So on camera, that looks so red, so damn red, unbelievably red. In real life, it doesn't look as red. It isn't bad. I love that finish, that like matte finish, and I think the brush is quite nice. I quite like the brush. I'm not gonna lie, the finish on that is so lit. Like the finish is really nice. And the shade isn't that bad on me, but the redness is what the big problem is. But it doesn't look that red. It looks really red on camera, but it doesn't look really red here. I'm shockingly surprised. This shade actually looks okay on me, but like all the other shades and nuances in between have not been accounted for, especially between these 2 colors. Like the difference between here and here is night and day, honestly. Some of us are brown, some of us are caramel, some of us are warm. Some, like, listen, there's undertones. I feel like for the girls who actually have their shade, it would be a nice product. If I be completely honest with you, but I'm not going to recommend you guys to buy it because I want them to learn like you don't do that. So it's nice, but don't buy it until they have more shades. But it is really giving me an airbrush effect. Okay, let me try the concealer. Pale, much better. Like, look at that. That's a much better gradient. Look at that. No, look at that. That is a Shape Tape concealer. There's gradient. Right, I'm going to go ahead with this concealer here as well. So if I be honest with you, on me, it kind of looks flawless. That's unfortunate because I'm not gonna keep using it, but the finish is really nice. I didn't expect the finish to be as nice as that. And the color has blended in nicely on me. So why couldn't you get the shades right? And this is the whole thing. Even though it works for me and it looks great on me, what about everyone else that's left out, you know? I think that's what the principle is. Like, you know, I look good, but what about everyone else? It's not fair, it's not right, you know? Now I'm gonna move on to the hydrating side. And for the hydrating side, I have been sent 3 different shades. We can see, you know, Desert over here, which isn't gonna suit me. There is the Mahogany, which matches the matte one, and there's also Deep Honey. What they didn't send me is Rich Sand, which is this shade. So I'm just gonna have to try and make it work. The shade that is called Tan Sand, as you can see, it's not for me. And then the shade after that is called Deep Honey. Deep Honey looks like that again, which is just very light for me. And then Mahogany. And with the hydrating foundation, there's also a sponge that comes with it. This is just a blender. I've wet it already. It's cute. I mean, I feel it's unnecessary. So let's just see what this looks like. This shade is, again, not quite right. It's less orange and red than the other ones, but as you can see, it's a bit too light. Yeah, it's definitely not as full coverage, more of a hydrating light coverage. I mean, you can still see my spots. You can still see all my pores. Even though it was light, because it's quite a thin coverage, it's kind of blended into my skin tone. Obviously, this side is a lot richer and a bit darker than my skin tone. This one is it's just there. It's just there. Similar to like how I use that Glossier tint. There isn't much there, but it depends on the kind of person. Like, some people want this kind of evaporating into thin air makeup look. It isn't necessarily for me. The color actually isn't that off for me either, but there's a stark difference between the two sides. Stark difference. This is not my kind of finish. Like, this is my kind of finish. This is not my kind of finish. And also, it just isn't doing much. It's just giving me, I feel like I need loads more, basically. My beard is coming through and everything. And we're going slightly ghost face, casket ready, ghost face killer, you know, down here. So where I'm darker and I've built that up, it looks kind of grey, beardy. Yeah, this foundation is darker than me, but I love the way it looks. This to me is honestly, this is basically trash. Put on my little Dior lip glow. Okay, so that is it. As you can see, this side is way more of like a hydrating, more glowy look. The color, we're kind of on ash territory. It's very neutral, and because it's quite thin, my natural skin color can come through. So if I just blend it away, blend it into nothing, it's not harsh. It doesn't look too orange. It just looks smack bang neutral. Over here, this is much more of a red, and the finish is flawless. Like, that foundation finish is beautiful. Look at it, it's like literal airbrush. But, you know, look at my face and look at my neck. So this is darker, and it's just a more reddy hue. So yeah, from a shade perspective, it's not great, but the shade up, there's literally no gradient. So I've got no choice, it's my only choice. And then on this one, yeah, I actually think that this may be a better color, kind of, but it's not even a finish that I even personally like. If I was gonna pick any of the foundations, it would definitely be the matte one, because I think it looks gorgeous as a finish. We're talking about the shade. They haven't got the shades right. Matter of fact, you just failed. Like, you just got it wrong, Tarte. I know you're coming out with 10 additional shades. We're waiting. The pressure is so on. The pressure is on. You know, I'm not gonna judge until we see it coming out. And I think the important lesson is that the more we all speak up, the better it is. And I know makeup can sometimes seem a bit trivial, but it's almost like a reflection on society. And I think they say whenever there's a recession, there's only one industry that never goes down, and it's the beauty industry during recessions, because people always want to look good, because when they look good they feel good. So it's almost like an emotional reflection on how people feel about themselves is the beauty industry. And if you don't see yourself being represented, and if you don't see yourself being considered important or as an afterthought, it can affect, you know, self-esteem for groups of people. But to be honest, you know, I know too many black girls who are popping. Our self-esteem's not impacted by any of this, darlings. We just won't be buying your product, okay? I've listed my favorite brands down below, and I'll keep them listed there, who are inclusive and do have amazing shades that I would genuinely vouch for and recommend. In the meantime, you know, Tarte, do better. And yeah, guys, I will see you guys very, very soon. If there's anything else you want to see, let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, I will catch you later. Bye.